Hello, my name is Melisa Kaye, and I'm your instructor for the Cultural Diversity and Occupational Therapy online course. This short video will cover the information needed for the cultural interview and observation assignment. As with all your assignments, please review your written materials and use them as your primary guide for completing the assignment. This companion piece will simply fill in the gaps and provide a context for the assignment. You're going to need to start this assignment early, and what you're mostly going to need to do is to pick a person. Now, ideally, the person that you pick is from another culture that's quite different from your own, and they are potentially your client or someone who has had some form of health issue or health concern, so that when you complete the interview, you can get information about healthcare practices. So you identify a participant, and what you're going to do is get together with that person and conduct an interview. There's a cultural interview and observation form in your written materials, and you're going to be using that form as a guide to conduct the interview. So you conduct the interview. How long should it be? It really depends on how much that person wants to talk or is able to talk, how much rapport you have with them, how comfortable they are. Now, one thing that's happened to students in the past is that they were very worried about going off the form, the questions on the form. And my advice to you is use your skills as an occupational therapist in interviewing, so that if you need to vary from the form, if you need to build rapport prior to commencing the interview, whatever you need to do to get a really solid idea of that person's cultural views on healthcare practices, you do that, okay? So it's fine if you don't complete every single question, although I'd very much encourage you to try to do that. It's also fine if you don't go in order, or if you use your best judgment as a clinician and practitioner to assist you in interviewing the person. So what you're going to do is you're going to get together, you're going to interview this person, you're going to jot down notes, and then when you're done, you're going to do a write-up and summary. You'll be turning in both the form that you used. You can type it up, and there's a doc version and a PDF version, and you're also going to do a short write-up. I'm going to be speaking to you about that short write-up. So what you're going to do is about a one-page summary. You're going to do a very brief introduction of the subject. You want to protect their confidentiality, but you can say, you know, gender, age, nationality, or other cultural identifiers. Then you're going to make a very brief summary of your findings. Now, this is the objective report part of it. So what you're going to do is limit this piece to what you actually saw and heard in the interview. So that can be quotes, that can be what you saw them do with their bodies, the distance that they kept between you and them, anything that was actually observable. That's the objective part. The next part is the subjective part, and you're going to do an interpretive summary of your findings. So what does that mean? It's basically, what do you make of this? What did you make of their reluctance to talk? What did you make of their non-reluctance to talk? And they went on and on and on and on. So whatever it is, you're going to try to separate out the objective and the subjective part. So there'll be two different pieces, and the idea is that your consciousness about what you observe and what you think about it gets raised. Finally, you're going to talk about your experience of this interview. Now, it's not so important that you conduct it perfectly. What I'm more interested in, and what will be more helpful to your fellow classmates, is, did you find out anything that surprised you? Was it comfortable for you? Was it comfortable for the subject? What could you have done differently next time? How could you apply it to assessments, if you would be willing to apply it at all? Sometimes we see that occupational profile and interview piece as just way too long to be able to actually do in practice. So I want to know what you made of it and what your synthesis and integration of the experience was. And that will also be very important for your classmates to hear about, so they can start integrating some of the information with what their worldview and experience is. So what you'll do finally is you'll attach that form to your online assignment, and you'll post it in the discussion thread where we'll all be able to read it and respond to you, and you'll be able to make comments. I hope that helps, and I'll see you online.